One aspect of Scream 6 that absolutely blew my mind was actually in the opening scene of the movie. One of the kills from that scene hit me on a different level, and I'm surprised they were allowed to get away with it. During the one-to-one between Jason and Ghostface, the dialogue exposes Jason's wants and desires as an aspiring serial killer. His explanation as to why he killed Laura at the very start was extremely dark, even by Scream standards, and I'll explain why. I believe they purposely took a specific amount of real-life serial killer's dialogue and merged it together through Jason's conversations with Ghostface. The descriptions of victims being like meat as they die is pretty common if you guys check out tapes of serial killers from the past. It's often described how killers feel their victims become less human as they are killed. There's one specific real life killer this opening scene reminds me of. This wasn't a recent discovery, I thought this the moment I saw this opening, and I'm curious to see if any of you agree. Gradually, as Jason explores his apartment, he eventually finds Greg stuffed inside his fridge, decapitated. The shot is quite gruesome, however this addition to the opening actually reminded me of one specific real life serial killer. If any of you are aware of Jeffrey Dahmer and his crimes, there were numerous victims discovered inside his apartment, with a decapitated head located inside his fridge. If you think about the setup here in this opening scene, it bears a striking resemblance to Jeffrey Dahmer's crimes, the apartment being a specific location, the way the body is presented inside the fridge itself, and how Jason was simply hidden within plain sight whilst returning home following the death of someone was something that was too familiar in comparison to Jeffrey Dahmer's case. Another reason I believe this was likely intentional is that during the discussion about Gail writing a book about the events of Scream 2022, she squashes the notion of a new movie by stating it's all about true crime documentaries now, meaning the story could likely take a similar route as the many real-life serial killer stories have previously. This also shows the writers are actively aware of the current impact of real-life serial killers, and the more recent Dahmer show on Netflix is currently one of the streaming platform's most watched shows, meaning it's not entirely out of reach that they took inspiration for this particular setup in the movie, perhaps as a way to give the scene a sense of realism. It's my personal belief, and some of you may believe I'm reaching, but I believe the similarities aren't coincidental. The opening scene with Jason was different to anything we have seen in Scream before, simply because it was getting inside the mind of a killer, and quite early on, we get a large insight into this killer, and right before, he simply returns to his apartment after speaking with Tara, who was simply oblivious to crimes he just committed. This is common for Scream, but the movie was actively showing how killers can be hidden within plain sight, and people can be completely oblivious. The setup in this opening felt so real to me, and the mild similarities to the Dahmer case, with how the body was displayed in the fridge, was something I'm surprised the movie has gotten away with, as no one else seems to have mentioned it. I hope you've enjoyed this brief video, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and look out for more great Scream videos on the way.